The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, it's your home, and I need to ask you a few favors. In the kitchen, there's a spider stuck between the window and the screen, and I know it's dead, and technically it's outside, but it's still freaking me out. Can you flick it out or something? Also, just to save some money, and it's super easy, could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico? Last thing, could you take the holiday decorations down? Yeah, I'm one of those.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Call 1-888-FARMERS to switch, and you could save an average of $470 on your auto insurance. That's a lot of money in just a few minutes. With savings like that, you could be lounging on an impractical amount of ornate and overpriced throw pillows you bought for your couch. But you won't, because you're better with money than that. That's why you're calling us in the first place. Call 1-888-FARMERS to get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July to December 2020. Underwritten by Farmers Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
All right. Chris.
I'm Aaron.
What's going on, stoners?
I saw Gorilla Glue blowing up in the headlines, and I thought that people were, I thought some cannabis was catching on.
I saw a Gorilla Glue girl. My first thought is, is this some viral video thing? Because, I first thought weed. I was like, wait, no, this isn't weed.
Nope.
What is it?
No, this was apparently a woman who, she went viral after setting her hair with Gorilla Glue.
Neat. So
she has
a video with her shaving it all off.
I've yet to see a picture of her without hair, but I can't imagine that they can actually get it off.
Why did she do this? Did somebody pay her? Was this a bet?
No, I guess she actually.
Did she bet on the Chiefs?
She has a usual hair product that she uses to set her hair. Right, so this is a black woman. If you're not aware of it, and
oh boy,
they some of them use products to straighten their hair out, and the style that she liked was very Ariana Grande, right, with the hair really tight to the head in a ponytail that looks like it's going to rip your face off.
Yeah,
and so she had her hair plastered to her head, or kind of like how a flapper would do it back in the 1920s. You just wax that shit and slap it right down to the scalp.
Did she do it on purpose, or did she confuse it with another product?
No, she was going for a specific look. She ran out of her product, and there was this Gorilla Glue. This was a spray
she did this
version.
On purpose?
She did it on purpose.
Oh man. Oh man.
She did it on purpose and had it in for a month before it really started causing problems, apparently. And then
Kamala Harris should find her and go, come on, man. Come on.
She ended up going to the ER to try and get it out. And
what are you doing, lady?
According to the New York Post, they put acetone on the back of her head.
Jesus. So, she's bald.
Which, I don't... honestly,
if eat shit away...
Well, the acetone, it burned her scalp. I'm not a fucking doctor. I've worked with acetone, and I can tell you, you don't want to leave the shit on your skin because it'll first dry it out and then eventually burn it. And also, while it makes most glues pliable again, it doesn't dissolve them. So all it does is once the acetone evaporates, the glue hardens again. It doesn't go away with the alcohol.
I would just get the fucking clippers. Let's go. You're not putting that shit on my hair. I will be bald.
Yeah.
She's black, right? Go get a wig. There's a lot more black lady wig shops than white lady wig shops. At least where we live.
She posted last week that her hair had been stuck in place for a month after she ran out of her usual product. Instead, of using extra strong super glue instead. What? And this was full on, have you ever used a spray glue?
Spray glue? That just sounds like I would fuck something up.
Well, there might even be a can in your basement, because when I did the sound absorbing battens, I remember that. I used it for the fabric. You just spray it on the back of the fabric, and then you can wrap the fabric around it. And it's kind of a cheap way to do a quick upholstery job on those things. And it's basically the same concept. It's rubber cement in spray form, only this is Gorilla Glue, which, has a reputation for being very strong, which is probably why they named the strain that way. So, yeah, this was full on. I mean, this shit shoots out like hairspray.
Damn.
Well, apparently she's now suing, or at least looking into suing. I don't think she's actually filed a lawsuit, but she said that she was talking to a dog.
Wait, what?
She was talking to a dog. I'm sorry. There's a video running on the story that I'm getting this info from. The video shows a dog that's in one of those, I guess like a dog wheelchair, right? So it had some sort of operation or lost use of its hind leg. So it's a big ass golden retriever that's got the wheels on it so that it can roll around. And it's heading for the pool. And they're trying to stop it from running into the pool because the dog's just like, I'm going for a swim.
What? This is in the video with her?
No, the video, you know how you pull up a story and it just rolls video until you stop it.
Gotcha.
So as I'm talking, it's going, like currently there's a possum eating a banana and its eyes are crossed.
What the fuck are you watching?
It's the New York Post. They play dumb videos. Oh. It's like, this is what passes for news these days.
Oh. So, yeah, I said dog instead of lawyer because I was watching a stupid golden retriever with a wheelchair run into a pool. Hey, this story is so ludicrous. Her talking to a dog sounded plausible.
Yeah. No, she didn't talk to a dog. She talked to a lawyer. And they're exploring both suing Gorilla Glue and the hospital. So, Gorilla Glue, because they didn't put on their warning label. They put on their warning label that the product should not be used on eyes, skin, or clothing, but it does not mention hair.
So this goes right. She won't win the lawsuit. She'll get a check, and then this will add to the warning label.
Right. I know that this is bullshit and had nothing to do with it. Or maybe she did. Maybe she actually read the warning label, but you got to be really dumb to read it and go, eyes, skin, and clothing. Oh, so it's good for hair?
Didn't say hair. Dude, you ever talk to people? Absolutely she said that. Oh, it doesn't say hair.
This is not a game of gotcha. Like, you just have to use a little bit of logic here. If you wouldn't put it on your clothing, why would you put it on your hair?
Have you ever been outside and talked to other human beings? At least nowadays. I guarantee you she didn't say hair. There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers,
I wish them luck, dude. I wish them luck with that.
There are a lot of dumb motherfuckers, man.
And she's also suing the hospital, or I think she's looking into suing the hospital.
For what?
Who knows what's going to happen? Because they burned her scalp and didn't get the shit out. Wow. I don't know. I think they might have a case with the hospital, although I don't know what kind of damages they're going to get.
Dude, no, fuck that. They're going to have hospital lawyers and be like, you did this to yourself, idiot. Case dismissed.
That's right. Hospitals they have many very high-paid lawyers, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure Gorilla Glue also doesn't have budget lawyers either.
Right. So she's going to get she'll get $50,000 settlement probably. She'll file a lawsuit. They'll settle for like 50 G's, which would be less than they'd have to pay the lawyers to go to trial.
The lawyers will eye her up, figure out it'll be the most money she's ever seen at one time in her life, pay her that sum.
Yep.
And then there'll be and then hair will be added to the label from here on out for Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
So that shit he does it again,
the label,
like, dummy.
The label will say, eyes, skin, clothing, or hair. Yes, you, idiot.
Yeah. And put a picture on it. This means you.
No, I know a guy who did something. He basically did the same thing.
You know what, though? I think it would hold some water if it was a one-time thing.
but the fact that she's been doing it for a while might really fuck her over in court. But again, we're just talking about people on Twitter. We're not lawyers, by the way.
It was a one-time thing.
Oh, I thought you said she'd been doing it for a month. Like she'd been using
her hairstyle. She has a hairstyle that plasters her hair to the side of her head.
Oh, she's been doing the hairstyle.
She ran out of the product, and when she did, she reached for the Gorilla Glue, and she left it in for a month before she did something about it.
And I misunderstood. Gotcha. I thought she had been like doing it for a month.
There was the crazy dude in our bunch when I was in my 20s. There's many stories of him. Some of them actually sad. I think there was some actual mental illness going on there as well. But he he was a gangly white dude with like a curly Jew fro. And he got the idea that he was sick of messing with his hair and that he could just hairspray it with glue into one form that would just stick.
Is this person over 18?
Well, at the time, yeah.
Wow. This is an adult. Like I said,
we were in our 20s.
Was pot involved in this decision? Like, how high was this guy when he had this idea?
Well, it's like going into a party with all the drugs and saying, is there weed there? like, was pot involved? Sure. Its level of involvement, I think, negligible compared to the psychedelics.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, like I said, the same thing. It's just spray can of the fucking rubber cement, and that shit attracted everything, like every piece of lint and cat hair and everything stuck to it because it never fully dries either.
Wow.
And he did eventually shave his head off after, I think he maybe lasted about 10 days.
How many?
I'm going to guess.
How many kids did this guy have?
None.
Oh, good.
This is the same dude who we went to White Castle late one weekend, as we were wont to do. And I guess this gentleman, the same gentleman, ordered more burgers. His eyes were bigger than his stomach, as my grandpa used to say. And so he decided to tuck one of those burgers away for later, just in case, into the pocket of his khakis.
What?
And then forgot about it. And then the next day, woke up, was like, oh, hey, look at that.
Did he eat the burger?
He ate, of course he ate the fucking burger.
You know what?
He put the
hairspray.
He rubber cemented his fucking head. Of course he ate the fucking burger.
At that point, I'm rooting for him to eat the burger. If you wake up the next morning and still have the burger, dude, eat the burger.
Out of all the burgers that I think that could withstand a 24-hour period in the front pocket of a pair of khakis, I'd say the White Castle burger has the best chance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was in a box.
Yeah, it's got its own box.
Yeah. Right. I would have eaten that burger, too.
I would have at least had somebody dare me to do it and got some, if not proper cred, maybe, I don't know, $20, $30, have the group cough up whatever's in their pocket for me to eat this burger. But that's what made this gentleman special, right? It wasn't, oh, what's in my pocket? Oh, it's a burger from last night. Hey guys, check it out. Look at this. I got a burger in my pocket from last night. Oh, I'm going to eat it. Check it out. This was wake up. Oh, burger? Oh yeah. Eat.
That's what I would have done. I would have just
No comment, no fanfare as we just go, oh my God.
I want to know though, so I think we're bearing the lead here. Let's go back to what led to the decision to put the burger into the khakis.
It's for safekeeping. I mean, where else was he going to put it?
Oh, as one does.
Well, if they were cargos, it would have went in the cargo pocket.
For safekeeping.
If he had a backpack, I'm sure it would have went in there. But
Now, I do realize with the gentleman's hair decision. This might be a bridge too far, this question. Did this gentleman own a fridge? That's where you could put the burger for safekeeping.
We were also out, right? So we had all crashed at a buddy's place. I believe he still lived with his parents at the time, so he was usually crashing at somebody else's place when we went out. A couple of us had places in the city. It was the early 20s, so some were still living at home.
Let's be honest. No matter how full you are, you can always eat one more White Castle.
I would have thought, but I found that while my taste for White Castle has not diminished, my capacity definitely has.
I just think that is getting old because I used to be able to put food away, and I've noticed like the last 5 years, all of a sudden I get full. Like
I could 6 sliders and a 5-piece cheese stick was my usual order. And these days, if I order 4, I'm like, whoa.
Dude, I used to smash
I'm stuffed. I'm like the dude in, what was it, The Meaning of Life? But it is wafer thin.
Yeah. No, dude, I get it. I used to be able to put a sack of 10 away. Now when I go to White Castle, I get 5.
Yeah.
I just think that's getting old. That's good though.
I
should not eat at my age, I should not eat like I used to eat.
Here's where the equation doesn't make sense though. Less White Castle input, but the output is the same, right? Same amount of shit, same amount of gas.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
You young people listening, this is your future. This shit happens.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net. Call 1-888-FARMERS to switch, and you could save an average of $470 on your auto insurance. That's a lot of money in just a few minutes. With savings like that, you could be lounging on an impractical amount of ornate and overpriced throw pillows you bought for your couch. But you won't, because you're better with money than that. That's why you're calling us in the first place. Call 1-888-FARMERS to get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July to December 2020. Underwritten by Farmers Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal. A safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
Poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.
With Metro by T-Mobile, your hard-earned money goes further. This tax season, there's 0 fees to switch. Enjoy Metro's lowest price. Just $25 a line for 4 lines. Plus, get 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones when you switch. Now that's the best deal in wireless. Metro by T-Mobile, empowering you to rule your day. All lines lose promo rate if any deactivates. No fees on select phones. Limit 1 per line with eligible port. Excludes sales tax. Limited time offer. Additional terms apply. See metrobytmobile.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
So, what else is going on? We're into February now. It's Black History Month, which Black History Month is, as a concept, not something that I necessarily agree with. But who am I to say it? And I'm not trying to get involved and be like, this is ridiculous. But that being said, I think there's definitely a need for more representation in television, movies, comic books, all the stuff that I do. Really outside of music. That's my music collection has the best representation of it in there. But I forget, there was a point that I was making here and I forgot it.
Black people make good music?
Black people do make good music.
Well, yeah, and then white people steal it and make money make money off of it.
And there's a lot of musicians in Detroit a lot of black musicians in Detroit that don't get the attention they deserve. I mean, we have one of the most influential hip hop producers in this city forever, and he just worked behind the scenes, and people have heard more about him now, I think, after he's gone. And
who?
I'm talking about the guy did I can't believe it just fell out of my head.
I can't help you. I wasn't trying to prompt you. I really don't know who you're talking about.
Jay Dilla.
Oh yes. Yeah. He's from Detroit? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean
That's right, he died.
Slum Village was he did a lot of work with Slum Village.
Did he get sick?
He died back in 2006.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't he get sick or something?
Let's see.
'Cause, yeah, I remember finding all of his shit, being like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this?" And now since we're on YouTube, I can't
cardiac
fucking play
arrest.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. Yeah. And since we're on YouTube, I can't play any of the music now.
Yeah, well, I bet you there's probably most of Dilla's stuff you could get away with, but there's no reason to poke the bear either.
Yeah. Which is, some of the copyright claims were released. I only filed it on a few, just to see what would happen. A few got swatted down, and then a few they're like, yeah, it's cool. It's just who actually wants to play nice or not. But
so anyway, this is a wandering way to get there, but what I wanted to share with you was this project that Carl Craig is doing in conjunction with the DIA, the Detroit Institute of the Arts, in celebration of Black History Month for this year. He's doing a project called All Black Vinyl, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's all Detroit-based artists, or artists that have a history here, at least. Not all of them. I shouldn't say all Detroit-based artists. Primarily Detroit-based artists, and this is actually something that you can follow him on social media. If you're not familiar with Carl Craig is an old school techno guy.
Yes, one of the fathers of techno.
Yeah, I think people really try and break it down, and I've heard him referred to as like second and sometimes even third wave Detroit techno, but I'm like, come on, guys, we're talking a matter of years. Like, he was hot on the heels of the big three of guys like Kevin Saunderson and Derek and I almost said Derek Atkinson. That was a dude I knew from Guitar Center.
Juan Atkinson, you mean?
Yeah,
or Derek May.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true. I used to work with a dude who was called Derek Atkinson. I never put that together that he was.
I guarantee you he's white, whoever he is.
Oh, he was white as fuck. Yeah.
White. That's a top 10 whitest name ever. Derek Atkinson.
Oh, yeah. So, but not only that, he's one of the most prolific producers in Detroit. He's had one of the longest careers that has spanned all different types, not just straightforward what we know as pulsing Detroit techno. He's done stuff that's more like hip hop and trip hop. He's done jazz, like full on. I've seen him perform with the jazz band, actually.
But that was sweet.
Yeah, with Inner Zone Orchestra is his jazz project. And he still does floor bangers too, man. Check out his shit as 6ix9ine. There's some crazy ass techno tracks.
He's like 60.
He's got to be getting up there. And one of the nicest people too. I had the opportunity to meet him briefly, and he was just so nice. Just cool, down to earth dude, and just really excited about music.
Oh,
so
it's 51.
Okay. So week 1 has been completed of February already, and there's every day he's featuring a new artist, and there's videos of him too. He's set up in his studio, he's got his mic on, he's got his turntable, he's playing the record, talking over a little bit, like a kind of the school of the old, in the style of the old school radio DJs. That would just that weren't afraid to butt in over a song every once in a while, that would just come in on a bridge. In week 1, he's got Tony Allen, Fela Kuti. Tony Allen is he was initially famous for being the drummer for Fela Kuti, if I got that correctly. Both from that, these are African artists. These are not Detroit artists, but they definitely have strong ties to Detroit. Bobby Bird, Marcus Belgrave. So we get some jazz in there. And then Chain Reaction, Moody Man for some really deep techno. And rounds it out with the classic Herbie Hancock track.
Whoever is in charge of the internet presence for this thing sucks. I can't find it. Carl Craig, DIA, Black History Month. And the first thing is something from August 20th last year.
I'll send you the link that I found this on. This is on the DIA's website.
Well, DIA, you need to work on your SEO. Ooh, you go to the Detroit Institute of Arts Instagram every Thursday at 5 for Carl to have an Instagram live with a guest. Thursday at 5 in February.
Yeah, so they've already had one of those. I'll have to see if they archived that. I'm not sure who his guest would be, but, who wouldn't it be? Probably somebody I'd be interested in watching.
Yeah. He's got 2 weeks up here already.
That was a cool idea because a lot of these are... Some of this stuff, like jazz and techno and that genres that have a strong black presence in them, but don't have a good in, right? It's like getting into jazz is kind of hard. There's not like a guide where somebody cleanly lays everything out. Well, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, everyone, because it's music, it's art, it's just opinion. So, you ask 5 different jazz fans who the best horn player is, and you'll get 5 different answers.
Yeah, it is. Jazz is pretty, but
techno's the same way too.
Who majored in jazz studies in college, so
yeah, right. But
there is a lot of argument over, for sure, especially as more and more artists have come out. Absolutely, I mean, you want the conversation that'll go on for 1,000 hours? Talk about jazz drummers.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And you get into you talk to people who are really into electronic music too, and it's so much deeper than just the bucket word of techno.
Yeah.
Right? People understand techno and they know what it is, and they might say, "Oh yeah, I like listening to techno." Like we went to a friend's house and we had a party and we put on some techno and we all danced around. Right? Well, what did you hear? I don't know. It was techno. I heard techno.
That's why they came up with the phrase EDM, though, right?
Right, it's the same thing with jazz. They oh, sure, I like jazz. Well, I listened to some the other day at the restaurant that we went to. They played some nice jazz in the background.
Well, dude, that's yeah.
Who was it? I don't know. There was a horn that I heard, but it was very nice. I really enjoyed it. Right. So these are musical genres that people hear and enjoy, but never fully absorb. And I think part of it is because it's such a wide landscape of different types of jazz and different types of techno. And, I like a lot of different styles of jazz, but I don't like them all. I found things that I like out of, just about any style of jazz, but I definitely have my preference. I listen to more fusion and more bop more than I listen to anything like big band or Dixieland or anything like that.
The fact that Kenny G and Medeski Martin and Wood are considered the same genre blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not even playing the same game.
So I don't know. I thought it was a cool project, and they've got Spotify links and Apple Music links in there. So I just went click, and I had about half this music in my collection already, but this was just a nice playlist. And
you're just like, hey, thanks for reminding me about all this cool shit I have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and when I first came, I came across this late. We're recording on on the 8th, so this is Monday. So they were into week 2. The first track for week 2 was a Slum Village track featuring Jay Dilla, because he did most of their production. He was kind of a member. And, like we were saying earlier, Dilla's been gone for well over a decade now. And the track that he's playing, they're still not shit out there that sounds like that. Like, Dilla was seriously ahead of his time, and hip-hop is not caught up yet.
Yeah, I thought hip-hop would go in a completely different direction than it's ended up going.
Yeah, it seems to be going into a like hyper commercialization pastiche. It's like a farce now, right? Just everything bigger and more absurd, and they're almost just making fun of themselves.
And I don't understand, like, the production's getting worse and worse. Like, I would be like, you've heard Dr. Dre, right? Like, you know what hip-hop production's capable of, right? Why is it just all 808s and synthesizers? Mold.
So what else? Have you watched anything good?
I'm trying to think. I actually had something chambered for this last week, and then...
Did you?
Yeah. Damn it. I'm sure I'll remember at some point. What about you?
I know. Like, I try, and I seriously just need an app that tracks my viewing habits. That
so it could tell you shit to watch?
No, not that. No, just has options for all the shows out there, and I just go track all these, and it'll tell me, you know what, how many seasons are, and I can just check them off. Like, yeah, I watched that, and I watched that, and that, and that.
Oh, so you know what you've watched?
So I can track it and know what I've watched and know what's up next. Because seriously, there's shows that I've lost track of. Like, I stopped watching it halfway through because I just didn't come across it again. Like, not all the apps are great about keeping a clean list of picking up where you left off. And because I don't tend to just blow through a show. I like to bounce around. I find a few shows that I'm into, and rather than just cram through all of one season, because I feel like I don't retain as much that way. I don't really remember the show when I down it in a few days. Although I have been cramming Black Monday recently because I canceled my Showtime subscription again because, until Billions comes back, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But I realized I never watched Black Monday, and so I gave the first episode a try and was hooked. And it is a really fantastic show.
Really?
Oh,
what's it about?
It's about Black Monday. It's about the stock market crash in the 80s. But, obviously a highly fictionalized one. And they set it up as a story of, like, by the end of season 1, we're going to witness the crash. And it's like Breaking Bad, they like to do the obscure foreshadowing, right? So, like, you'll see this tie pin show up on somebody that's dead by the end of the season, but you don't know who. And the tie pin tends to float around. But that's kind of a bad way to start when describing the show. The show's a farce. It's hilarious and completely ridiculous. Like, it's about vile people, right? These are just they're just greedy Wall Street people that are constantly fucking each other over and everybody else. It manages to find some moments of heart in there, but it's mostly just over the top, ridiculous farce. Like
good farce or bad farce?
Like hilarious farce.
Is it self-aware farce?
Oh yeah. Very self-aware, and it likes to make a lot of jokes about things that, like, I don't know. There's a lot of references to things like, somebody puts their dick on the Xerox machine and it gets out to the office. And so they keep talking about this picture of a dick that's going around. And they're like, seems like there's a better way to say that, like a sniglet or something, right? Or something. They're like, a dick. They land on Dickshire, right? Instead of dick pic, right? They could have just said, but that doesn't exist yet. So it's very self-aware in that. They're making jokes about our current time and something that's said in the 80s.
Dickshire.
It was something like that. But sniglet comes up a couple times.
How long does that word have, huh? Another 5 years, maybe.
The story kind of starts with the two main. There's Mo and Blair, and so Mo is. Let me pull up the cast list here so I don't fuck this up. So Mo is Don Cheadle, and Blair is played by this dude who I think I've seen him in something before, Andrew Rannells. And he's just like lily white, blonde haired dude. And so they're talking about something, and the character of Blair, the white dude, was like, oh, it's like a sniglet. And Mo's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And it happens a couple times in the show. Like, Blair talks about sniglets, and whoever the black person is like, what?
Oh, yeah. That dude looks pretty white. He's played white guy in many things.
And they do cocaine like all the time. It's just ridiculous. Oh, I think it was, I just watched the finale of season 2. And Mo opens up the door to welcome everybody into his suite. And he says, come on in. Anyone care for a drink? We got, how does it go? What is it? We got Kool-Aid, purple stuff, Sunny D, and a shitload of cocaine. But wasn't it the Sunny D commercial?
Yes.
Is that the one where they reference purple stuff?
Yeah.
All the kids run in from, playing outside, and they're thirsty, and he's like, oh, we got, what was the list? I think it was it's like orange juice, but definitely purple stuff anyway.
Yes, purple stuff was in that list.
There's a very specific reference.
So it's nothing. So it's a giant 80s member berry.
It's a lot of that, yeah. And it's also done in a way where because it's set in the 80s, everyone's being like openly racist and openly sexist to each other, But it's getting into the later 80s, so we're starting to see that, that movement start of like, oh shit, we got to start respecting women, and maybe they can do any job and shit like that. But it's still in the 80s, so it's fucked up. So they have like a scene where somebody has to come in and give them training on sexual harassment. And, at first you think it's all serious because they're like, you can't be doing this anymore. You can't be slapping women on the ass in the office and all that. Yeah. But then it quickly turns into this guy is telling them, like, it becomes about walking the line. Like, what you can get away with saying and you can't. You can't openly slap them in the ass in the middle of everyone. You have to wait till you catch them by the copier, and you're not going to embarrass them in front of anyone else, So it's like, oh, you almost got it.
So close.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. And one of the characters he's always got this like all this Arabic shit on. Like he's really playing it up. His ethnicity. He's got it's not a turban. What is the thing that goes on the head? They usually, it looks like they tie it off with a piece of rope. He's got the big crescent moon and shit on, and all that shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
Yeah. So in the second season, the almost the entire office gets turned into women. Like somebody else takes over the office. It's like 80% women, and it's that dude and another dude who's played by Horatio Sands. Or like the last dude's left in the office. And the other dude that's not Horatio Sands, he ends up getting on board, and he's like, no, dude, this is like new era, and we got to respect women, and you can't be doing this shit anymore, and you're out of control, and really laying into Horatio Sands about his behavior. And Horatio Sands is like, he calls himself a Meninist. And he starts a club called Just for Men. And he's like, I don't think that plays how you think it does.
Right?
And then we find out at the end, so the season finale, He finally cozies up to one of the ladies at the office and makes his move. He's like, I want to take you out on a date. We're going to do this proper. I respect you. And she's like, are you kidding? Not in a million years. And he's like, motherfucker, I've been doing all this feminist shit for a year for nothing.
And that is Dudes in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So no,
how will this get me laid?
It's absurdist in all the best ways. It's got a little bit of 30 Rock elements in that way. I think actually you'd really appreciate the show. And Don Cheadle is just fucking hilarious.
It's Don Cheadle, man. He's good at. He's one of those people. He's good in whatever he does, even in a shit role. He's good at a shit role.
No, absolutely. And if all the show was him wearing crazy tracksuits and driving around and doing cocaine. Oh, he drives around in what he calls a limbo. It's a stretch Lamborghini.
Nice.
It is the most ridiculous looking car.
Sounds like it's probably a lot of fun to be a cast member on this show.
Yeah. I would think so.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
When we made our new McDonald's Spicy Chicken McNuggets, you were praise hands emoji. Then we ran out, and you were screaming tears emoji. Now they're back, so you can be grinning face with sweat emoji. Order ahead on the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For a limited time at participating McDonald's.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
Poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
All right, it's time to talk about some weed, huh?
Yeah, heard there's some big news.
What's the big news?
Virginia, in the state legislature that we're doing this. Did we talk about that last week?
Right. So, Virginia has they developed legislation in both houses concurrently. So it is pretty big news that it passed in both houses. What that means is because it's two different bills, there has to be some sort of reconciliation on that. Although now I think that's a specific term that we suddenly started using in politics, but some sort of getting together, and they have to hash out they can only propose one bill to the governor, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to do both. So what the end bill is going to look like, who knows? But the fact that both the Senate and the House were able to pretty handily pass this is definitely a very positive sign. Now, if what Ralph Northam does,
doesn't
I don't
he
know,
support
but
it?
I would assume he would support just about anything.
Yeah, the big deal about this one, this is Virginia is considered a traditional Southern state. Like this would be the first domino falling down south, so to speak. And then then it sandwiches in Delaware and Maryland with D.C. and also New Jersey, who already has legal weed. In Pennsylvania, that means they come for you.
Yeah. Its location is key for two reasons: both the demographic and its neighboring states.
Mm-hmm. It'll essentially help box out the rest of the traditional East Coast, the Northeast Coast. From Virginia, D.C., and up, just help finish off that part of the country. Those traditional Southern states are going to be tough.
Yeah. Though I imagine it's going to be a slow-going process.
I don't know. I think you'll probably see a state like Georgia. They got Atlanta.
Well, I'm saying specifically in Virginia, they're not looking. One proposal didn't set sales to begin until 2024.
Yeah.
So they're giving themselves plenty of lead time to put this together. I mean, maybe that's the best call in Virginia. Maybe those 3 years of rolling it out and getting people ready means that this is going to go over easier than it might in a traditionally conservative state.
Dude, I'm sure Florida, if it came up, I'm sure their voters would pass it in a fucking heartbeat. Like, Florida doesn't count as part of the South, right? I mean, yes, it's there.
I guess, but
Yeah.
Florida has medical, but their medical has been a mess. It's very restrictive. They only recently opened it up for, not seriously life-threatening diseases. And at the beginning, it wasn't Florida. They didn't even have. You couldn't buy anything smokable.
Yeah,
you could only get like edibles and tinctures and stuff.
Was there other news? Because I said big news, and you asked, so was there other big news?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I mean, I have other stuff, but I guess I didn't put the Virginia news in the big news bucket. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is looking at legalizing cannabis in his state, both recreational and medical.
I did see that, too. Damn.
Yep.
Well, they have to, right? Illinois, right? I mean, how many people who live in Milwaukee are just driving to Chicago a few times a month?
And he did it in a very smart way, too, because he put it in as part of his budget proposal.
Oh.
And said, hey, we do this. Here's another $165 million that we have to play with over the course of the next 2 years, which that actually seems reasonable. That should be in line with.
Yeah, that's how you sell the red state. That's how you sell Republicans on.
Well, I mean, his numbers are
money.
His numbers are reasonable too. I think over the course of 2 years, Wisconsin raking in $165 million. That might be shooting a little high, but I think that's in the neighborhood.
He's fronting it. Now he's gonna be like, "Man, I fronted this shit. We got to sell it. Come on, let's go."
Right. We should be selling cannabis, and also we have to sell cannabis because the cartel already fronted me all this shit.
Yeah.
It says legalizing and taxing marijuana in Wisconsin, just like we already, like we do already with alcohol, ensures a controlled market and safe product are available for both recreational and medical users, and can open the door for countless opportunities for us to reinvest in our communities and create a more equitable state.
Smart man. He's like, hey, we can make money and there will be jobs.
Yeah. I don't know where the equitable part comes into play.
It's
like he had to throw that in there.
You have to now. It is required in 2021. Like, I've gotten used to saying this phrase a lot of times when I've been reading something or I see it on the news. Or like, I just gotten used to the feeling of whatever the fuck that means, and then I just continue on with reading or watching.
Yep. Yeah, I think my brain has just started to replace it. It just does like a word or phrase replace automatically with political platitude.
Yeah.
It's like there's certain words that they come out of politicians' mouth. I'm like, okay, wake me when we're talking about something.
Yeah, there's been times where something's been said on TV. I'm like, the fuck does that mean? The Homer Simpson line of "you take forever to say nothing" just shoots around my head so much the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
What was he saying that about? You take forever to say. Who is he saying that to?
Wasn't it to John Waters?
It might have been.
Because he was using a lot of flowery language. I want to say it was I think it was the John Waters episode, which is a classic.
Listen up, Stonehenge. I made a drawing of the places on Mars you
No.
can't touch.
No.
Especially the hair. Oh, you needn't worry. I'm a bit of an elbow man myself.
Oh, it's Ricky Gervais.
Different, a bit weird. Not sexual. You take forever to say nothing.
My YouTube on
John
autoplay.
Waters, Ricky Gervais. That was close, right?
They both have a goatee. They both have facial hair.
Yeah, I mean, what is John Waters but a stretched out Ricky Gervais? I ask you.
Or is Ricky Gervais a a smashed John Waters.
Yeah, I think that would be more accurate.
Like John
if
Waters.
only by the fact that Waters preceded him.
John Waters and 30 G's.
Yeah. Here's what John Waters would look like if he spent 5 years on Jupiter.
Yeah.
So, picture of Ricky Gervais in the bathtub.
Yes.
Have you seen he takes pictures of himself in the bathtub all the time or laying down, and he has like falsies or something. He has he got his front teeth knocked out at some point. So he takes his front teeth out, makes goofy faces, and his hair is all fucked up.
I have not seen
it. It's high comedy.
It's Ricky Gervais. He's at that level of comedian where he can just do whatever he wants now.
Yeah.
He's got that much street cred. Well, he invented The Office. Both versions. So, I mean, he just sits back and you talk about mailbox money.
Well, he invented The Office, which was a good idea for a show that I think worked actually better in the American incarnation, but obviously I'm biased. I'm not against British comedy. There's been plenty that I liked, and I gave it a fair shot, but it just didn't really do it for me. And it never had the chance really to get to the point that the American version was, right?
No, it did 3 seasons.
Yeah.
The American version did 6 more.
But that being said, those 2 seasons of Extras are fucking brilliant. They are just amazing.
Mm-hmm. My wife's a fan of that show.
I think he did. I think he did the 1 season of that show with Warwick Davis. And what was the other one that he did after Extras?
Was it the music one? And he was David Brent again?
Oh, I didn't watch that one. I'll have to check it out. Anyway.
We're talking about weed?
I guess we're talking about weed. Honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of news this week. I guess concentrate sales are up 40% across the nation.
Wow.
At the same time that, cannabis sales in general are down roughly. We talked about this last week, I believe. They got the full November numbers, and they were for the first time they were trending down. So while cannabis in general is trending down, concentrates are going up, which kind of makes sense to me because if people are peeling off and going back to the black market, then they're probably primarily buying flower from the black market. That's where you're going to lose the most of your sales. I think if you're able to break this down by category, if people are regularly going to the dispensary to get concentrates, to get vape pens, to get brownies, it's not so easy to just, I know a buddy who knows a buddy who's growing shit, because he's not also processing it in his basement most likely into some sort of concentrate and packaging it in a nice little C-cell cartridge that you can pop into your battery.
And if he was, would you want it?
Right. So I think that, that's another thing too. When you're talking about concentrates, that's a pretty big thing. You're processing this concentrate. I think you want to know that there's some oversight there, right? No matter how much you trust the government, if your neighbor goes, "Hey, I made some homemade peanut butter. Do you want a jar?" Be like, yeah. But it's only like $3 at the store, right? It's not like if peanut butter were like $30 a jar, I'd be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Thank you. But no. I don't need to eat somebody's homemade peanut butter because, I know that the government has a cap on how many insect legs I'm allowed to eat in peanut butter, and it's relatively low.
Whereas we're not so sure.
Yes, we have no idea. There's no oversight there. So, concerns like oversight of the processing of it, that doesn't really play into plants. You just give it the sniff test. You take a look. Does it look good? Does it smell good? Hey, this is good bud. You don't even really hear about people lacing the shit or anything, so
anymore.
You just assume it's good. Yeah. So no surprise then that the stronger part of the market that the retail and medicinal cannabis markets are holding on to is the concentrate business, that they would bleed more of the flower. And maybe that will just be where it eventually settles. You know, most people will get their processed cannabis from a legal source, and if they want flower, they probably know somebody who knows somebody.
Oh, at this point, absolutely.
The other thing, when it comes to, you know, the processing of it, there's plenty of people out there doing it on the black market, no doubt. But you don't know how they're doing it, and you don't know what they're using. That shit's dangerous too. I mean, it's really dangerous for the people that are handling it.
That's part of what you're paying for at the dispensary. Hey, I know where this is from. I know what's in this.
Well, there was a New Mexico medicinal processing place that is looking at possibly having its license pulled because they had a really serious accident. I guess this was in December of last year. They had 2 employees that were moving a very large pot that had cannabis oil and ethanol in it. And they were to take it off of a burner that was still on and dump it into another container. And one of the employees lost his grip on it and spilled the mixture. And, of course, that ethanol hit that burner and went up immediately.
Oh.
And the 2 employees both of them were pretty seriously burned. And so they're looking at they have guidelines for this, and it involves they're pretty clear about how to handle. Ethanol, it should go up like nobody's business. So
this is why we need federal legalization, so we can have standard best practices and regulate all that shit.
Exactly. I don't want the people who make my cannabis getting burnt to a crisp. But yeah, they're supposed to be, you're supposed to turn off the burner and let it cool down properly before you do any transfer of anything that has an ethanol-based solution in it.
This is where we wrap it up. And remind you, we are on social media. On Twitter at the Weedsman 420. Like us on Facebook, on Instagram at the Weedsman Podcast. If you go to ChristopherMedia.net, man, I'm high. I got a new cartridge.
What?
Yeah, click the Amazon banner, click the PayPal banner if you'd like to help us out. And then, man, where do you listen to us? It's more like, where don't you listen to us? But Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, ChristopherMedia.net. If you just want to cut out the middleman, if you don't want any people between you and your podcasts, just go to there. And I'm super duper high and can't talk anymore. So stay high.
Stay high.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired fitness celebrity Billy Blanks.
Okay, everybody, our car just got a broken windshield. How about we blow off some steam? Now punch, now kick.
Mr. Blanks, there's no need to be stressed. Geico makes it easy to file a claim online, on the app, or over the phone.
Yeah, but what if I never hear back? That's going to make me want to go jab and jab.
Nope. Your Geico claims team is always there for you.
Okay, do I still get my post-workout protein shake?
Sure, Billy. Geico, great service without all the drama.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.